technology and also the comprehension for what is behind this digitalization. And it takes out the formation of a digital citizenship. So from the consult of the members of CLADE and the researchers of ReLAAPPe, we have some criteria of selection for these cases. Cases applied to the public network or the mandatory education, and could bring a territory diversity that started from 2022. And we've identified 2 cases in Brazil: Connection School World and program Digital Wave, and the use of platform DD in Catalonia, Spain, a case in the United States, in Penn Manor District, and a spirit of a community, indigenous community in Mexico. We did the bibliography review with the responsible of these initiatives, and we applied an analytic framework that talks with the manifest of digital democratic education that was developed by CLAAPPe for 2 years. So I will show a little here briefly, so you can see this analytic framework as we did this criteria of availability, acceptability, accessibility, and all the platforms were analyzed according to these criteria. So I will invite now Jussara, who can present for Catalonia. Thank you.
Hola, buenas tardes a todos y a todas.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I will be very brief. In 3 minutes, try to present a little bit the study that is connected with the initiative DD, the initiative Democratic Digitalization, that were carried out here in Catalonia, Barcelona, and the platform of democratic digitalization is an outcome of series of things that were developed by our collective, that were developed for public education. And it starts with some families, mothers and fathers. The Association of Students' Families of Catalonia, they received a document to authorize their children so they could enter the platform Google Suite, at this moment, Google for Education. So these families, suddenly they saw as a process, a complex process of their children, and they got involved in a manifest in which they started sending emails, and through social media, they sent to their other families not to authorize the data of their children inside the Google. It did not interest of Google inside the schools. So they connected with some academic in a network of activists here in Catalonia and Spain as a whole. There is a network that has a long tradition to defend the sovereignty, digital sovereignty, democratic in several areas, and they start a campaign with this protest so that the data of the children not to be in the database of Google. So from this on, we tried to elaborate with some academics who defended the free software, an alternative project. So it was the way of entrance. And from that on, in 2022, it was created the platform, the DD platform, based mainly in a platform of integration and usability to unify diverse free tools of open source tools, and also a platform that can be editable of open source platform. It's a process of interest. So in 2023, after presenting this platform, we started with an agreement with the government of Catalonia, and we started to try it in 11 education centers. So it's a process, a simple process of a simplified platform to have autonomy, as Google is using, Microsoft also. So this platform needs to be improved, and we need still to make some changes in several aspects in the platform, but it's very important that this alternative is an experiment with privatization. So it's one of the things that I think it's very relevant in this report, is that we need to try to connect both the activists who defend public education in the defense with education, with academics who are working, and also a critic in the process of privatization and usage of alternative.
Considero que es como un espacio de resistencia alternativo, ¿no? No es una transformación del mundo, de la realidad, ni es ya una defensa de la educación
Reality,
para sostener,
but it's a defense of for public education. So to keep this advancement of these tools, so we want to have an alternative tool, so it's necessary. So I will close here. Thank you.
Gracias. Entonces invito a Teise a contarnos también las
Thank
experiencias.
you. So now I invite now here Daisy to share the experience they had.
Bom dia, aqui desde o Brasil.
Good morning here from Brazil. I hope that you can listen. Do you listen to me well? So I will initiate now, saying thanks for the opportunity of ReLAAPPe to participate with this study with CLADE, and I will talk about the 3 cases from Brazil. We researchers. The first one is connection school world. Differently, that was it's a public policy. It's an initiative that starts inside a public university, together 2 universities, the Federal University of Bahia and the Federal University of Santa Catarina, and with the participation of researchers, Italians, and also from the Catalonia. The project here in Brazil, coordinated by Nelson Preto, professor of Federal University of Bahia, was funded by a private company, by CNPq, who funds researchers. So the fundamental characteristic of the project is a research and intervention project. So it's the actions are together with the university and the public schools, and the school is the School of Application of Federal University of Santa Catarina. It's a school with around 1,000 students, 1,000 children and teenagers up to 70 years old were reached by this project, with the goal, as Nelson Preto, the professor, said, to create and try a methodology of intervention in the schools to form human rights by the education of hacker culture. It's based in the perspective of autonomy, decisions in a collaborative work, decentralization, and in the practice of digital objects in the perspective of transforming the world. And the hacker, in the perspective of the project, as the project says, is someone that produces content and circles immediately so that can be tried and improved by everyone. So the research, the technology, digital technologies are within this perspective. And the second pillar within the project is the education for training in human rights as a base for the citizenship of culture, digital culture. So it's a set of procedures to build together with the basic school and also the community, students, workers, school workers and directors, and researchers and students of the cities for the development of the projects. We highlight two aspects. The first one is the planning of the work to be developed inside the school, the application school of the Federal University of Santa Catarina was carried on during seminary international congress, as they saw the needs of their communities in this school itself, and they highlighted as an example the outcomes of this seminary, uh, highlighting these studies of the report, a project that was developed along the year with students with the goal from the diagnostic that these individuals that are so the objective, the goal of this project is to give voice to these people. So the digital resources were used for that. The whole process of creation, access of technologies and learning were within this perspective. And the platforms the project adopt is Nextcloud to work with investigation data, the platform of national network of learning for meetings, GIS also for meeting, like for others for edit videos, and also other free platforms. And also the project is still going on. It has this year, in 2024, we will have a new seminar, international seminar of research, this time in the Federal University of Bahia, in the perspective of the human rights education. We understand that this project responds of the criteria of availability, adaptability, transparency, and social control, although we didn't find yet specific actions for attending the demands of children and teenagers with in development. And the second case that I will report here is also something that started in university, in the same university, the Federal University of Bahia, but in another institution, Connection School World is linked to the Federal University of Bahia, and the project that I'm going to tell now is linked, Digital Wave is linked to the Institute of Mathematics of the Federal University of Bahia, coordinated by the group of researchers and students. And I need to say that all the information we got, we need to thanks to Pietro Botek, that helped us a lot in answering all the questions. So it works with children, not necessarily, it mobilizes school activities, not only, but it works with students starting with 13 years old in the public schools in the metropolitan region of Salvador, Bahia, working directly with young pre-teenagers in situation of social vulnerability, the condition of going to public schools is fundamental to participate in this project that started in 2004, coordinated by the teacher Deborah Abdallah, which has the goal to promote the social digital inclusion, integrating the university and communities with several groups and promote the free software technology. All the platforms, digital resources are free, and all the inclusion process that happens also in their sub-projects are developed from this on. And what we can highlight from this project is a training in IT. So the youth go to this University of Bahia to participate of studies. The project WAVE, so that the universities goes to the communities to develop digital inclusion, access to it. And also we have a project that works with recycling and taking care of the waste, work waste, like computers, cell phones. They work with this whole process. The platforms, all these that we already know, they are used, Linux, GNP, so use different platforms, all of them with compromising, not using paid platforms of big corporations. And again, we understand it attains the criteria in the perspective of the human rights for education. And finally, not passing the time I have, I would like to talk briefly and bring some information about a project of Picking Trabash. It's a report. It has a title, a communitary platform at service to preserve the culture, municipality. Genepix, I don't know if it's correct, the pronunciation. Apologies for that if it's not correct. It means learning. Intrabat is the junction with intranet and bashara. So it's because the project that was created in 2013 by Luis Ramon Alvarado, as a professor of teacher of academics, it's primarily to produce an intranet network for students of this school. And as long that the process goes on, it has an amplitude with several difficulties because it doesn't have any funding, but the donors of the community. This professor is an IT teacher um, in, in a place that people don't have access of internet, they don't have equipment, they don't have access in their territory to this equipment, and the social economic conditions are very poor. And also I need to register that this school is in the community of Albaçó in the municipality of, it's an indigenous community that mainly in a big part, as the professor said in the beginning of the years of 2013, had poor access to the Spanish language, and also doesn't have material, teaching material to produce it in their own language. So the teacher mobilizes together with the students and give perspective of building technology digital. And I invite everyone to look at this material. And this project is increasing with a perspective of inclusion is spreading also, as the teacher together with their students can have a network point to point with a server installed in the school itself and access more people in the community itself can access the internet too. So the perspective is to promote access to digital technology in a context of poor availability and minimize the social difficulties. So the teacher starts this work using the Office package, but it starts using free technology and using Linux technology in 2007. And we'll use a set of platforms, free platforms. And the next decade of the 21st century, this proposal starts to be disseminated in other, disclosed in other schools. So it spreads and gains new partners in other physical spaces. So today, if we access, it's a possibility to consult a public platform, not only the intranet. So this project is still kept with donations. Sorry for past the time. So we have a short time. I would like to have a dialogue in the end. So I will give the floor now to Janaína and later on to Israel. Hello, everyone. First, I'd like to say thanks for trust and the importance of the disclosure of other possibilities of digital technologies in a collective way, inclusive and solidary. The case of the education district of Penn in Pennsylvania, United States, is an example. It unites these principles and also the belief of democratic education. And what we realize in this program is that the teachers and students are subjects that receive information, but they are social political actors that can have initiatives. So that's the framework of the project. And it's based also in the ideas of Paulo Freire, which is a reference for this program. So the educational district of Penway, it starts from 1999 using several digital free technologies in the network of computers. And in the disclosure, we show some softwares, free softwares that we use. So some examples of the use of this free software in the integrate this computing systems. So they have several integration of systems created with the help of a hacker, built a system, building a system of hardware, free software connecting people from development of web pages, use of system with code source adapted to needs of the teachers, use of open systems, the news letter of the journal of the helped the students getting feedback of the readers too, and identification of open source codes by students, allowing not only the students and teachers to receive digital technology, receive the information, and help the community to, in this perspective, of, as Charles Hazy, which is one of the persons who had the idea of this program, is to offer the students to offer open source technology, will help them to comprehend that they can change the world through the software, the technology. They can be part of the decisions that are being taken, and not only being the end users of the outcomes of this use. So these projects developed in this district have the background of this idea of community to share knowledge, which is related with the hacker philosophy. The experience of this district shows a retro feeding in the conception of the education and use of free technologies. It means that on one side, the understanding of free technology, promoting the technology of this technology, the other side, the use of these technologies make available the collections between teachers and students. And so I'd like to thank Charles Heisen. He wrote a book about this initiative. It's worth to read and explains this whole story, telling how were the challenges for this program. This book is called The Open Schoolhouse, and I'd like to like to share two interviews for this project. So I would like to thank him, his collaboration, and disclosing this project and this publication.
Obrigada,
Thanks.
Janaína. Chamo então
Thanks,
o
Janaína.
Israel para a gente
Now
fazer
I
as
call
perguntas.
Israel so we can have still a time for dialogue.
Bien, de manera muy
Perfect.
breve, también agradezco nuestros investigadores, investigadoras por las
Briefly, I would like to
presentaciones que
say
tienen
thanks to
Tecnologías
the
relacionadas
researchers
muy
for
clarificadas,
their
¿no? Con estas
presentations.
presentaciones y aquí no cabe solamente
If
complementar.
they are,
Considero que este
it's
material
more
de
clear with what
investigación
they
y
said. I would like to
plan de
summarize
acciones basado en estas 5 A's sigue
this
siendo
plan of
aplicable para
human
organizar
rights of
prácticas
education.
tecnológicas
It's still applied
orientadas en las
for
tecnologías
new
y las
practices
tecnologías digitales.
oriented
Segundo, que
based
podemos
in the
crear
digital
alternativas
technologies.
en los sistemas
It's
públicos
also
con los
possible to
programas
create
libres,
alternative for public systems
educativos y
with these
basados
free
en una
platform, free
democratización de las
programs,
metodologías
and also
educativas
based in
para
the
nosotros ser un
democratization of
agente
the
transformador de las
teaching
comunidades educativas.
technologies to
Esta
emancipate the
presentación
use
sin
of digital
entender el
technologies. And
nuevo
also,
escenario sociotécnico que nos
not
propone
only
las comunidades
these
educativas abiertas
recommendations,
y soberanas
these
con el uso
technologies needs to be
responsable
free,
y
available, and
responsable de las
sovereign.
tecnologías digitales.
And
Es
the
entender
state
la
can
importancia
should
de adecuar
incentivize
a las
the
nuevas
creation of
tecnologías.
these
También
digital
agradecer a
technologies
las
to
materias
respond
de
the
alfabetización en
public
características
interest, and not only the
estructuradas
big
para
techs.
modelos
It's
seguros
also
de
necessary to
aprendizaje
work in the critical
para proteger
education
a la
to
ciudadanía digital.
participate in a
Reforzar
safe
los
way
canales
in these
de
environments and
socialización
promote the
abiertos, así
digital
como de apoyo para
citizenship.
todas las comunidades
And
que
also,
pueden ser productores de
the
tecnologías digitales
students,
o puntos de
they can
encuentro para
produce
la propagación de
technology, digital
tecnologías digitales
technology,
y
and with points of
considerarlo
support
una
to
habilidad
produce
y que pueden ser
digital
desarrollados
technologies in a
bajo
more creative
alternativas
way, and they
educativas.
can develop
Otro
it
punto
with a
importante
new
es la
platform
necesidad
and
de superar
digital
esas
tools
desigualdades digitales
at
en
their own
sistemas a la
interest. And
actualización
also, it's
por
urgent
medio de
to
temas de género,
overcome these
equidad y
digital
también
struggles
igualdad
and
de oportunidades,
historical
posibilidades y capacidades
difficulties
de las
as
personas.
gender
Por
differences,
último,
uh,
nos cabe destacar
uh,
algunos procesos de
deficiencies,
investigación que ya hicimos en
and
varios
and
estudios que
lastly,
aún vamos a hacer.
to highlight this
Creemos
process
en
that
este
we
plan de
did,
acción
another
y
one that we are
deseo
going
de
to do. The
mediación
first
de
one in January this
administraciones
year,
se
the
presentó
meeting of
a
the
los
Ministry of Education,
representantes de este estudio a la
ALC,
presidencia.
were present
Este estudio
some
fue una
results of this
colaboración del
study.
CLADE
This
y
study
este
was part of an agenda of a
presentará un
CLADE,
brief
which
sobre
is
las
also
tecnologías
present in
digitales en la
our
educación.
thematic
El
theme
estudio
letter
presenta
about the use
puntos de
of
reflexión
digital
sobre las
technology in public
acciones
education. And this
políticas,
study
un
permitted us to
conference
participate
internacional
in
y
other
finalmente
events,
la última
which
semana
in a conference,
el
international
seminar
conference
educativo.
of education,
También
and in the seminar of
Brasil
Brazilian
presentó este
education.
estudio
And this methodological framework, this
contribución al
study,
informe sobre inteligencia artificial en la educación
we
y
can prepare a
educación pública
contribution
a la educación.
about
Hemos
artificial
seleccionado estos
intelligence in the
puntos
education
como
related,
ejemplos
especially
y
about
queremos
the right for education.
presentarles
In the
este
next months, this
estudio
project
también
will
en la
keep
Feria del
on. We
Aprendizaje
will
Docente
present
y
it
está
at
presente en el
Parlatino
trabajo
and also
coordinado
at
del
the
CLADE del 24 al
G20 meeting,
25 de
and
junio.
it
Este
presents
estudio propondrá también la construcción de un posicionamiento
a
común de
work.
las juventudes
This
clades
study will
sobre el uso de
also
tecnologías digitales en la
help with
educación.
in-common
Aquí el
proposals
acceso a la
of for
publicación
CLADE
y
of for the use of
informaciones para quienes
digital
nos acompañan
technology in
en
education.
el
So
enlace
we
que está
have the
disponible en el
QR
chat.
code
Pueden
here for the
revisar
ones
los
who are
enlaces
following here.
disponibles
We
en
have
la
also the
presentación
link
y
available at the
finalmente
chat, and it will also
acceder
be
a mi
discussed
canal y
in
publicación
the
de
transmission
conocimientos
on
en
Facebook.
su brief en
And
inglés para que
shortly,
puedan
by the
acceder.
end of the week, it will be in English, so
Quedan 2 minutos
more
para sus
people will
questions
be able
y
to
con
read
esto
it.
cierro
So I think we
la
still have
presentación.
just 8 minutes for discussion. So this way I end up the
Obrigada.
presentation here, my
Sim, se
presentation.
quiser
Thank you. Thank you,
tomar a
Israel.
palavra ou escrever suas perguntas no
If you want, you can speak, you can write in the chat. So we still have some minutes left to share doubts, comments, or however you wish. You can speak or write. Juana said in the chat, if we can share the recording, yes, of course. Also other people, so they are congratulating for the presentations. Don't know if you have any questions for the researchers who were speaking here, and the results will be disclosed later on. Some questions? No?
Bueno, sí, Javier, adelante.
Go on, Javier. I would like to congratulate you for this work of CLADE. It's a very important work in terms of research, of opening possibilities, and also advocacy for the authorities, so the authorities could think a little bit and apply a little bit in the practice. We also know other cases, as for example, in the south of India, a case, very broad case that we disclosed in our magazine, in our journal, and we will make a reference to this in the new journal. Also, in Venezuela, we have an experience of applying free systems for public education. Well, I say that everyone should keep researching, and everything is possible, and we need to incentivize this in the digital territory. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Javier. The idea is to keep on identifying other experiences and give another experience. So I invite you to share these experiences also at the website of CLADE. It will be a very present subject in our agenda, and it's very interesting that in other countries in the world with different characteristics, these experiences exist for more than 20, 25 years. It's nothing new. Indeed, these are experiences from them that we can effectively correspond and share with authorities so that they see that it's possible a new use for the technologies based in free and sovereign technologies. Someone else wants to make a question? Briefly, I would like to leave a reflection here. I would say two things. First, it's very relevant, the work of research about these experiences, identifying and having data, collecting data in this research, because we know for the political dialogue, it's very difficult when we talk about to deal with the other side of the privatization and count with data and proofs. It's very relevant, and tendencies also, and invite other researchers of this area that they get excited about this and share the outcomes of their findings. Their research will be very useful, not only for CLADE, but we want to extend, to spread this search for all the regions, all the continents that follow up in the campaigns for education. All the information in these cases will be very welcome and very well used. And I end up saying that I'm suspect because many of these actors already know that these experiences, know about the existence of these experience, but they don't want to listen and talk about them because they are not interested. But what I think is that the governments of our regions, our governments, are few people who manage this information as a possibility or a political possibility, a concrete possibility within the politics. So in this sense, we need to wait to establish new dialogues within these terrains with some governments in our regions. And what Javier said about Venezuela, we also have an experience in public experience in Cuba of the Cuban government. And we would say that Venezuela and Cuba are not the countries that are more listened than other countries. And we try to enter, to have a dialogue, to know these experiences, but we didn't get yet, but we will get it. These are very interesting experiences with everything that we commented are experiences that the governments are incorporating. They are incorporating their public policies. So that's it. Just to let uh, so if you can get excited about this. So thanks, Nancy. Before ending, Marceli, I think he wants to have a comment. Good morning. First, I would like to thank you to participate here. I think it was a very interesting presentation that meets the Brazilian campaign. It impresses also the quantity of data, the comparison of the countries that you did, and thanks for the study that you did. That's it. Thank you, Marceli. I just wanted to mention that we are working in a new project about digital governance and artificial education in education, another study that work a little in a more critical way with the tech actors involved in this process of governance and digital education, the importance of having more links, connections with movements, education movements, citizen education. We see the power that this proximity that has with the movements for the rights of education and the movements for digital rights. So we have this trajectory getting closer to feminist movements, and also, but this movement for the digital rights is very powerful. The United Nations are developing a global pact for digitalization. So to make better this connection is interesting in these discussions. I don't know if there is another question. I see here saying thanks. So basically, you are glad with the results, the outcomes. So we'll keep on with our dialogue. Thanks, everyone. If you want to keep on with this dialogue, we are available. You just have to write to us. Of course, you will have more information